So this is the next part of the tutorial, and what we're going to be doing here is creating the three-quarter view for this car, for the salt flat belly tanker style car. So what I've done here, just reduce the size just a little bit, just so I can work above it and kind of see it and use it as reference. So what I start doing is laying out my perspective lines, just getting the feel on how I want the car to line up and stuff, and how I want it placed on the perspective grid. And I'm just showing there how the best way to really lay out a perspective grid is using the wheels first. The wheels actually will determine a lot of your measurements on your car. So you can see that I drew the wheels down there on the side view to kind of help give myself a measurement to where things are. And you can see that I've kind of, readjusted lines. I could tell that my perspective was out of whack. And just basically what I'm doing right now too is just laying down a really rough sketch. A lot of times I can't work clean when I start out laying down my original grid. And so what this does is it allows me to work rough and then go ahead and use that as an underlay, and then I'll do the finished nice sketch on top of this. And just to let you know, this thing is sped up probably about 2.5 times, so I really don't draw this fast. Wish I did. But so yeah, I'm just laying down the rough right now. It allows me to give me a good underlay, like I said. So right now I start drawing the base of the car, and then I start drawing the center line where the center of the car is going to go through. These are your biggest key elements, is finding the center and also where your wheels are placed. Once you get that, you can go through and adjust a lot according to how you want things to sit and everything. So right now I'm figuring out where my window needs to be, where the nose needs to be, where the wheels need to be. And like I said, a lot of this is just really, really rough. I'm not really caring how I'm drawing it right now because I'm going to use it as an underlay. Obviously, it's, I want it close to what I got down there. So you can see me reworking my wheels and how messy I can get. And like I said, I really don't care at this point on how messy it is. Like I said, just using it as a base drawing. So just figuring out a few details, how the things connect, how the arms will come out and hold the wheels. Decided to move that wheel out a little bit more. It was a little too close to the body. So yeah, this is a lot about proportion as well. Just getting that right stance to the car. And like I said, using your wheels as a measurement guide. And when you draw perspective, it's always handy to use a grid-like thing. Like I said, you can see that I've drawn that box down there, and I'm putting my car within that box. And what that does is help me to keep track of everything while I'm drawing it. And so, you can kind of see that it's taken form compared to the side view down there. Putting in the axles. And the one key thing about the axles too that's really cool, and that's how you line up your wheels. You use a thing called a major and minor axis. And your major axis is always your minor axis is always your axle. And that's basically the line that goes through the center of the wheels is considered your minor axis. And then your major axis is the longer axis, and that's from the top to the bottom of the wheel. So that's a good judgment on how to do this. And you can even look up stuff online on perspective and everything to help you kind of understand that a little bit better. So this is still continuing to draw. Laying down my ground shadow. And then starting to lay in some section lines to kind of give, the car some mass. So it's not a flat object anymore. Kind of drawing in a few of my details here and there. Figuring out where stuff goes. You can definitely start seeing it take shape. So I decided there that my wheels were a little too close to the car compared to what the side view was. So I just chopped it out, moved it forward. Beautiful thing about using digital, you can go back and kind of do this stuff again. And I also just realized when I drew my wheels down there again, I opened them up a little bit more so they weren't so close. But I did that too so that I could extend the nose out of the car because it was a little too squashed, a little too pushed. So drawing in the details on the cockpit area, drawing in my scoop. And, like I said, just keeping stuff rough. Like I said, I don't really care how beautiful this drawing is. I erase every once in a while just to kind of clear up the drawing a little bit. Roughing it in. And, I have a few friends that can draw, right off the bat. They're making every line count. And I tried to do that and just discovered I'm not that type of designer. I need a rough layout first, and then I can go back over it and think about the design. And that way, right now, I'm just thinking about the perspective and how stuff is laid down. And then when I go back over and do my final drawing, then I can start thinking about the design and the actual details and how they're laid in there in proportion. So I kind of do it in 2 steps instead of 1. And that's just a way of figuring out how you work. Not really. And, just figuring out what your niche is and how you need to work as well. That's one of your biggest strengths, is figuring out what best suits you, that's going to make your stuff really stand out and, deliver the right material to who's ever asking for it, You know your strengths that way. And you know how to operate. So just going in, drawing a few lines, getting the paneling back in there, where that sideline falls, I kind of got that. Realizing my cockpit isn't quite like my drawing. So just going through and tightening up stuff. Putting in some more paneling. And then you can see I keep drawing more and more lines, just trying to get that center line established and working the cockpit again, really pushing it back there. I want the rear of the car to appear a little bit more small, and it gives it that forced perspective look, as if you're almost looking at it with a fisheye lens a little bit. Add some dynamics to it that way. So just putting in my, exhaust area there. And then measuring where the cockpit is. You can see that I drew some lines there that kind of show me approximately where that goes. Adding a few details here and there. So that's pretty much my drawing, my roughed out drawing. So now I'm going to go back over and start really tweaking it and fixing it now to make it a cleaned up drawing. So I always just have this habit of drawing my wheels first. It establishes the base of the car and helps me ground it, and I know where to place my body. Now I'm just going back over the line drawing like I did on the side view and just cleaning up all my lines so that they're nice and clean and readable and not so bunched up together.